Hello and welcome back to the finishing line. It's been a while, but we are back and we are minus Tom as he is in South Africa living the dream.
Hello.
But we do have Andrew and Sean. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Sure, grand. Dino, how are you?
I'm alright, yeah.
You look it.
Sean, got a new haircut?
And no, not new haircut. No, you were just saying mine is Tom. I just hope he's alive out in South Africa and he hasn't been abducted somewhere on that luxurious holiday resort he's in.
He's either getting eaten by a lion, held up a gunpoint, or he's gone for a swim and have to get eaten by a great white shark. It's 3 reasons not to go to South Africa.
Yeah.
Madman. Loves the place.
Please do the usual, like and subscribe. It helps the channel. We'll throw on the comments like we do every day, every time we're here, and try and get to a few as we go along. We took a bit of break over Christmas, watched all the Christmas racing. Today we're gonna not necessarily fully review all the Christmas racing, but we're gonna try and break it down into sections. So novice hurdlers, novice chasers, open hurdlers, open chasers, and other bits in between, and talk through the graded races, the grade 1 races at Cheltenham Festival, and the horses we've seen over Christmas, and just have a general kind of discussion about Christmas and maybe who we think are the ones to concentrate at the moment. That may all change at the DRF, and we will be at the DRF, all of us.
Maybe.
Sean will
What?
be there as well.
I thought I said, oh, maybe. Jesus.
Oh, baby. Only 2 weeks, lads.
Yeah, 2 weeks from Saturday. So we'll all be there. Anyone wants to come say hello, please do. I was going to say something.
No. You can't leave it on the knife edge like that. This is not like some Netflix fucking series that now you're going to leave it hanging. It was all right if you said at the end of it. Spill.
No,
I want to know.
I was going to. I said, everybody come along and say hi. That's a lie, because some people I don't want to say hi. Just those people don't say hi.
David, I have a follow-up question.
No, I'm not.
Who are those people?
I think mainly the manager of the hotel. I think she causes the most stress in the first few hours of the trip.
No, she's been very accommodating at present. So
it's if anyone ever wants to see David O'Keefe, Dave, Dino, whatever you want to call him, come along on Saturday. What time are you having dinner at?
Half six.
Yeah.
Half six. So come about 6:15 to the restaurant in the Clayton, and wait till you see our table not being ready, his name not down in book, and then you'll see him lose his shit. It's fucking great viewing. I would highly recommend coming and watching this.
At that point, me and Tom usually just sit back and just laugh. It's fantastic.
Oh, it's great. I just stand there and leaning on the wall with a glass of wine. This is fucking epic.
It's a fucking. I like things done properly. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like.
You can't blame anyone else. You're the one booking all the stuff.
Yeah, but I send the emails. I can't make that person go from there to there or send.
The sleeves are fucking up already. He's ready to go.
I can only do my fucking side of the things. Like,
can't wait.
Is DRF more open this year than most other years? It would seem to be, but
somehow he'll still come out with 7 grade 1s or something like that. So
there'll still be people back Masborough to win at Dublin Racing Festival.
Oh yeah,
and those people will not be collecting money.
Need to turn around and leave Leopardstown, but that's not happening. Like he's out there sending out a few warning signs that his gallops are no longer flooded. Whoever believed that in nonsense, God bless you. What do you have? 5 winners yesterday?
5 the other day, yeah, just the 5. But Gordo's still flying. We'll get into it anyway. It was a pretty good Christmas for racing and winners, and it was good to watch. The return of Gallup and Deschamps was a nice race, but
there's no buts. There's no buts when it comes to galloping. Just stop the sentence right there. Thank you. Much appreciated.
we are going to talk about the novice hurdler. So we saw a couple of grade ones over Christmas. One at Aintree, one at Leopardstown. We also saw one rearranged at, is it Nace? It used to be the Lawlers and Nace. I don't know what it's called anymore.
Actually makes sense. It's called the Ballymore now because do you know what? The one in Cheltenham isn't even called the Ballymore anymore because it's called the Turners. So what's the fucking point?
All woke nonsense.
I don't do well with change. It upsets me. Some of the names to mention. We had El Kairos look like he was going to bolt up in a maiden at Leopardstown, only for he done a gosh and he got those. No, he got one thing caught into the other thing. Basically, one shoe caught in the other.
One thing caught in the other thing.
That didn't sound right. One shoe caught in the other shoe.
I think you can do that.
My daddy Paddy, who was all the rage, apparently not having the hurdles didn't help him. Me personally think he was beaten fair and square. Shouldn't have been the price that he is. Another English hype horse. And don't get me wrong, I like some English horses, but that was nonsense and very, very silly things by people. Talk looked like he was going to bolt up in the grade 1 at Leopardstown and also fell. Skyline Hustle took that race. He was probably going to be second. Idaho Sun took the race that my daddy Paddy came second in, and he looks like he's getting better. He ran well in the bumper last year, so his form is pretty decent. Bambino Fever ran yesterday after being beaten first time up by a horse that I think JP has bought now. I can't think of her name.
Outlaw skill, something like that.
Old school outlaw. Very good. Well done. She looked good yesterday, but to me, she's a stayer. Her last 2 furlongs are always her best 2 furlongs. She looks like she's very much a stayer. We also had No Drama this end win the race at Newbury around New Year's. The race I mentioned at Nace, Sortudo was beaten by Oil Sort Dat. I don't know what to make of that race. And then there was other horses throwing their names in the hat, maidens here and there. But Andrew, thinking ahead to the Supreme first, where are you looking? We obviously have yet to see Old Park Star. I think he's racing the weekend, so Nicky hasn't really sent out his lads yet. I know he had Act of Innocence beaten by Manila Yoga, but he's given Manila Yoga about 2 stone, and that seems a decent horse for Paul.
Literally.
So where are you at with the Supreme first, and then we'll talk about the other ones.
Well, look, you touched on my daddy Paddy, and I think we said it for a long time. His price leading up to Christmas for the Supreme was absolutely ridiculous based on what he's done. He was just pure out and out hype. It was a Twitter horse. We see 2 or 3 every year, and he was the prime example. The nonsense they're coming out that the hurdles made him lose a 3.5 length of feet. Like, do me a favor. Like, Dan Skelton came out and said, "I'm not making excuses, but the hurdles weren't there. But I'm not making excuses, but the hurdles weren't there, lads. But I'm still yet, and I'm not making an excuse."
It's never a good sign in an argument when you say something and then I'm not making an but there's no things but.
No, there's not. Like, he was beaten fair and square. That was the first time he came off the bridle properly, and to me, he didn't find much whatsoever. That would be a big worry for me when he gets into a real battle against horses at Cheltenham. For him to be still shorter than Idaho Sun, who, look, he's unbeaten over hurdles, so I don't see the discrepancy in the price there should be that much. Talk. As you said, I think he was going to absolutely bolt up against Skyline Hustle and the future champions, Novice Hurdle at Leopardstown. It was between him and El Kairos. Like, El Kairos to me visually looked like he was going to absolutely bolt up. The way he picked up with the change of camera angle at Leopardstown, where they just at the turning, he put a matter of lengths within seconds between him and the second. I think he's going to be one of the most impressive winners we've seen of a race like that. And I know it's only maiden hurdle, but a Leopardstown maiden hurdle for a long time. He showed all the right signs. Look, obviously he done a Goshen, got his 2 hooves caught together. Very, very unlucky to come down. Right favourite, probably hard to know, but himself and Talk to Talk are the 2 horses who are visually going to be the most impressive, but unfortunately they were vicious. Both of them fell. So you're taking a trust that they'll be okay after that. I hope they run. I didn't look at the DRF entries yet, but if El Kairos turns up what are you seeing all of them? Is he entered in anything at the DRF?
He's in it, but I'd say it's about 100 to 1 shot he runs the DRF.
What's the entries? He's 8 retire stalls. Talk to Talk 6-4. I wouldn't be shocked. What else does he have? He has Ballyfat, Skylight Hustle. Yeah, he'd probably pick up a maiden, but I think he's very, very good. But Sober is another one that people are latching onto as well. I think he needs to do a lot more. Bambino Fever, she's mare novices all over. I don't think she's quick enough for a Supreme whatsoever. She did what she had to do the last day, the other day. But Old Park Star, you really like him, Dave. He's going to be interested coming out now after he bolted up at Cheltenham. Sean likes him as well. But I think El Kairos, he showed the hype. I say the hype, the talk around him last year. How David Maxwell ended up getting this thing beaten is a feat in itself. But I think there's a hell of a lot of talent underneath that engine. And if he stays on his feet in a race like this, Jesus, he could be anything. But look, we're so far out, it's very hard to tell. It's a weird year when it comes to the Supreme. And I don't even think we'll have a grasp on it properly after the DRF, unless the likes of El Kairos and Talk to Talk do turn up. But I think of now, if you were saying to me El Kairos is going to line up on the back of a win and a maiden or something, would you want to back him? I don't know. But a 92, you're backing him on talent that you think he has, which he probably does. So in other words, Dave, I'm sitting on the fence right now, but between El Kairos and Talk to Talk, even though they did fall, they were putting in the most visually best impressions I've seen so far this season.
Yeah, it was more Sean that liked the Old Park Star. I like the other Henderson horse, but I'm interested to see him running the weekend. I wanted to see him again, but I didn't want to see him running a Haydock. I fucking hate Haydock. I genuinely think it's the worst tracks going. And Nicky used that race. He used it for Jamba and a few others as well. I don't like it. I would have preferred to see him going to the race that he sent I think Shishkin to
Sydney
Banks, and he sent one of the either Django Bay or Jinko Blue to.
And it's not a bad race that he's running. That what's his name? Hurricane Pat is running in it as well.
Just the way the track is configured, I just don't like Haydock. I think it throws off strange results. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see the winner run over Christmas, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if one of Nicky's ends up winning it.
Could you throw in the one that Nicky had today, that fire warning for Rich Ritchie?
Yeah, I liked him. I watched his race I thought I was sitting here watching it back in October. I thought he should have won that day, but he's obviously going to be better for a better trainer in England. I don't know if he's speedy enough to be winning a Supreme. He looks a big, huge chaser in the making. Lovely horse though.
Champagne Fever 2.0.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the Irish are good enough, to be honest. Willie just doesn't seem to have one. People are expecting to pull one out of the woodwork. I'd be interested in the Reverend. I know there was whispers that his jumping was bad. His jumping wasn't bad, but I had to see him running a grade 1 at the DRF. And if he went around in a grade 1 at DRF and got the job done, I think Willie has one then. But at the moment, I don't think siding with any of them. The horse that won today in the JP colours was as impressive as any other horse all through the season. What he beat, I don't know, but visually he was very good. But I'm like you, Andrew. I'd be sitting on the fence, and I wouldn't be surprised if the English win it this year. It seems like a year that what's his name?
It has a weird result written all over it.
The year that Somerville Boy won it. I was thinking today, and that's what it feels like to me. It could be that kind of fucking race, to be honest. Sean?
Yeah, just to kick back to the start, Kairos, I was out in Leopardstown that day now, and do you know there's that wow feeling when you stand in the stand? That's exactly, he was the faster Vega on the steel stuff as that camera angle changed. He sort of cruised up.
He's killed him.
I came up around the outside on the bridle, and I was saying to myself, this is the performance we've been looking for. But unfortunately, he went down, and wherever. I still don't know what happened to him. He sort of hits it, gets his legs stuck, and it's like the wheels go in full motion, and he fell out. But luckily, he got back up. But the vibes about him were very strong.
He got his hooves caught together. His front and back.
Is that what it was? Did they get stuck in?
Yeah, it's like Goshen. What happened to Goshen?
Yeah, because like his back leg ended up in the air at one point, and I was like, what has he done to himself? But the vibes, like, he was smashed off the boards. Like, I know you lads, you were keen on him the night before, and he went from, like, I think it was like 6-4 to long odds on. So they couldn't be happier about him. The only thing in that race I would say is I don't know what that race is worth, to be honest with you. Like, Murat was smashed out of the way in his maiden hurdle before, and Dr. Dumanil, he couldn't even Dr. Dumanil, he couldn't even go by Murat, which was very disappointed with, to be honest with you. I thought he'd go by him late on. So that'd worry me about it. Yeah, I've just seen it there. But look, he couldn't have been more impressive. But my thing on him is, I'm just not sure with going from a maiden hurdle straight into the Supreme is going to be ideal. Like, Shishkin is the last horse to fall, but he had a couple of runs after that to prove himself. Where Kairos is just going to have a maiden hurdle where he's going to go around 1 to 10, jog around and win. Like, nothing's going to want to take him on. That sort of ties in with talk to talk. He was a lot bigger, and I've noticed he's being clipped in, and maybe the media hype around trying to sell him has sort of played part in that. But I can't for the life of me understand how talk to talk coming down the last in a grade 1. He was nearly double the price of El Kairos, who came down on a maiden hurdle. Like, there was quality in that field. Like listen, Gordon Elliott and Jack Kennedy deserve a reward for the stuff that he pulled off, that he was going to win that race. Even the talk to talk didn't come down. He was getting murdered by talk to talk. And what impressed me most was Sam Young, I don't think had him in the best of spots. He was out the back. He sort of had to cut through at the second last, and he came straight back on the bridle. And he didn't try and go for a gap. He pulled him out and went around the pair of them. So I'd say there was plenty left in the tank. And that was probably the performance of the Christmas if he stayed on his feet. But he didn't. So you have the two of them in the same boat, and they're up the top of the mark in the Supreme. 2 fallers. But at least talk to talk was in a grade 1, where El Kairos was in a maiden hurdle and is going to have to go a maiden hurdle again. So I wouldn't be strong on one, but between them two for me, my daddy Paddy, I'd say that's a bluff. And the stuff of not jumping hurdles was going to make no difference. When push came to shove and he came off the bridle, not much happened. So he just wouldn't be for me at all. Idaho's son, look, he dug in well, in fairness to him. He deserves his chance to go to Supreme. Bambino Fever, she won yesterday in that sprint down the straight, essentially. I wouldn't have her in the same sphere as the Geldens, to be honest with you. The Supreme talk wouldn't be for me. I think she goes in against her own sex. And
Dun, dun.
Is that Sean or us?
That's Sean, I think. That's that quality Dublin power cut.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Oh, he's back.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there.
He must be on holiday somewhere. I think the problem is he's with David Pipe.
That could be a fair point.
He couldn't train a goose to gander.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say, my biggest take was no drama this end. I'm all out to take him on the turners. All out. I want to find anything I can against him.
We'll get to that.
Okay. Yeah, other than that, I think I covered all. Sortudo, for me, I'd be dropping him back down to a Supreme. I wouldn't be going in the turners with him. He'd be coming back down and travelled very well and just didn't go past in the end. He could be a quirky fella, but I'd be bringing him back down to the Supreme.
I hope they do, because I backed him for the Supreme.
So there's a lot of talk there, but I think Buckley has hit the nail on the head. I agree. I don't think we've seen any real good ones yet. And this time last year, it was quite similar, and everybody was humming and hawing. And then your man came out, Kopek, a DRF.
Kevin.
That was the end of that. So I think that will sort it all out in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Ballymore.
Sorry, go on. Yeah, don't mind.
Speaking of the Ballymore, we had the trial there and Ace. Sortudo beat, but I'll sort that. I like No Drama this end. I think he's very good. Whether he wins at Cheltenham, I don't know. I think it's a very good betting market because he makes the prices of the other ones so much better because he's a good bit shorter. But I am still very much interested in Sortudo. The Ballymore becomes a speed test. The horses are all intertwined with Albert Bartlett horses, and it's hard to decipher for trainers which race to run it. And usually the speediest horse ends up winning. Sortudo was 100% outstayed in Naas. Now, having fucking Patrick on board wasn't helpful either. Because he was going up the arse of the horse and he was trying to leave it as long as possible to win on the bridle. But I think he's still very good. He visually travels like an extremely good horse. I'd be still with him for the Ballymore around 22. I think he's a good price. But again, it's an open year. It reminds me of the year that 5 for 3 won it. If you remember him, the grey horse of Willie's. Ruby was on it. Very open year. But I wouldn't be deterred by Sortudo. He is the one I'd pick for the race. Even though I didn't have one for the Supreme, I'd be with him for the Turners.
Sean has no idea. Sean has no idea who 5 for 3 is, do you?
I don't.
We're fucking old, Dave. We're old.
There's probably a lot of people in the comments don't know him either. Andrew.
Yeah, look, I'm a big fan of Sortudo. I can never say his name right. Sortudo. That fella. Yeah, I was start of the season. I put up a piece on Twitter about him, and I thought he was going to be every inch a Bartlett horse. Then I seen him win a Cork, and I was like, "Holy shit, this fella's actually fast." He was very impressive at Cork, and I was expecting him, like you, Dave, to just pick up by a sort that and go past him. Just didn't happen. Didn't stay, whatever it was. Like, I'd sort that a lot of credit, and I think the further he goes up in trip, the better he's going to be. He hit that line hard after an absolute slog from the front. He took that up, I think, after a second or third hurdle, and then he upped the pace down the back straight. And like, what was he? 4 lengths clear, jumping the last, which was be the third last with the tail taken out. And it was just a slog all the way from there to the line. I think he steps up and trip. Remember, like the old profile we used to go look for a Bartlett horse. He used to have about 4 or 5 runs in the season. He's starting to fit that kind of bill, and he's winning grade 1s as well. And he looks every bit a horse that'll stay every inch of 3 miles. Goes out in the front, away from trouble. Will get all the inexperienced horses in trouble a long way out. And I think he's definitely a bet if they end up going there with him. Sortudo, what do you do with him? I think he's caught between a rock and a hard place. Where do you run him next? Do you hold off? Probably won't run into DRF. I'd say that's highly, highly doubtful that he'll end up there, since that was only a week and a half. But I will be interested if he goes to the Ballymore. What was it even called this year? Did they change the name again? Turners. So still the Turners. If he goes to the Turners. But I'm like Dave, I really rate this No Drama this end. I think they haven't even come out third gear with this fella. I think he's a horse that will just keep finding. He just smacks class, and he's just doing what he has to do. Whether Harry will be on him now, if the whole JP thing is another issue. There's talk going around that Sam is going to be on him now if he's going to start riding JP's horses at Cheltenham, which will be interesting. I'd much rather Harry on a horse like this than Dave's not a fan of Harry Cobden, by the way. He'll tell you now in a few minutes. He's made a few boo-boos. His rides over Christmas have not been.
I like Harry, but he had a bad season. Anybody that says he's had a good season is lying to themselves.
No, he's had a lot of bad rides. He's put in a lot of stinkers.
JP says he has a good season.
I think he was putting in his little marker for, hey, look, JP, I can stop horses too.
Just bury a few bodies in your happy days, then actually get a few pounds. Like,
Well, look, if you're talking to horses on a big day, would you rather Sam Twist and Davis than Harry Cobden? I'd rather Harry Cobden every day of the week. Yeah. If Harry was on it, I'd be very, very much on his side. I think it's at a stage where people are going to take on Paul Nicholls' horses because how much he has declined as a trainer. Whether that's down to the horses he's had or he's just not keeping up with what's happening going on around him with the likes of Skeleton and everyone else over in England. We don't know, but I think this fella is a really, really good horse. But yeah, from them, I'd have no drama this end, and I'd send Sorturdo back down to the Supreme.
Okay, Sean, Ballymore.
Yeah, Ballymore. Sorry, I was kind of voicing opinion a bit early. Yeah, no drama this end. I don't like him at all. I think he's a stayer and he should be up in the Bartlett. And I think when you look back through it, like you go back to his Cheltenham run the first day, there's maiden hurdles 40 lengths back, but they're winning maiden hurdles in mad places, not the top tracks. But when you look at the top three, King's Book was fairly put in his place at Christmas now. Then you go to the race at Sandown. I don't know what that's worth. Like none of them horses are going to be at Cheltenham. And you get to the Newbury race. That Klimt Magic is entered at the DRF. I promise you he'll be beating the length of the straight if he turns up in the place in the 2 mile 6 race. So for me, he just hasn't done it. I don't think he's quick. They were all boats in that Cello. He was just the quicker of the boats, but I don't think that makes him fast. I think he'll really he strikes me a bit of a Goyard Dumanil. He was winning over them distances, but the opposition wasn't great. And then he came up against Bob, who was a fast horse, and got mullered. I think that's going to be the case when this lad arrives to Cheltenham. But when you look at the market, what can you take him on with? I'm not sure at the moment. I think the DRF's going to have a big hand to play. That Active Innocence day, if I can see him coming up here, I know he got beat the last day and I was a 4-year-old, but you're giving him £20 and that 4-year-old's rate 130. Like, although it's disappointing as it was to get beaten, it probably wasn't a bad run, to be honest with you. Because if he goes on and reaches a mark of 140, like you're talking, that's a serious old run of Active Innocence to give him so much weight and get there. But I think the horse today, I'm hoping might wake up into a Turner's horse, Mighty Park. Dave touched on it. I don't think there's been a more impressive debut maiden hurdle winner so far this season. He went out in front, Mark Walsh, no messing about, and he just kicked them all aside. Now, my only thing is he's going to have to go again for you to get in the picture for the Turners. Like, you can't just base him off a maiden hurdle. But I thought he showed plenty enough there today now to say that he entitles his chance to go and take a step up into the next class. Definitely. And anyways, but yeah, no drama this end. I'm going to sit and wait. Like the likes of Skylight Hustle, I think he's going to come up here because Gordon knows El Coiros is a quicker horse than him. And he's going to step him up to this Turners. So look, he's a grade one winner coming in here and he's 16-1. But I just think on the day you're gonna get a lot of people. I think you know what horse to take him on with close to the time, and you're still gonna get a price.
Like just touching on what you said about his Cheltenham run, like if you actually go through it, it's a race that's actually worked out quite well. Like fair enough, a heads up, he was second in the champion bumper, which is decent enough form. He won his maiden, obviously hasn't run since then. King's Box was turned over by Your Proof, but he's 7-2 favourite for the Nathaniel Lacey at the DRF as a grade one.
Yeah.
You'll have Money Garrow has come out and bolted up. He was beating 7 lengths. Grey Field has come out and bolted up. He was beating 46 lengths. The 8th of the 9, what's his name? Into Something Good. He was beating 2.5 lengths in the grade 2s since. Like the former's working out. I think he's very much been overlooked, even though his price is 7-2. That's the wrong word to use. I think he's been dismissed literally based on Paul Nicholls, and I would want to do the same. But I just think if you go back and watch it, the way he goes through it, everything is done so easy. I just think there's so much more.
Yeah, my thing is,
I know what you're saying. 72 to take him on. He's very much there to be taken on, but I think he's just
just the way he travels, even like he's being niggled along, and you just don't know how you're going with him. I don't. Now, don't get me wrong, he keeps giving and giving and giving, and I think that's why if you stepped him up to a Bartlett, he takes some serious whacking, to be honest with you, because I don't know what's there, because he does keep fighting and going the line, but I just don't know about Turners.
The Bartlett's just a joke race. It ruins horses. So I like the horse. I think he's a big future. I think he'll be more than likely beaten in the Turners, and it's the right race to run him in for his career.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Turn up next year and more than likely win the 3 mile chase, novice chase. It's just Nichols knows what he's doing. He might have had a lean few years, but he knows what he's doing. I think he's very good, but I don't think he'll win a novice hurdle at the festival. We won't go much into the Albert Bartlett. If you've won, just give it out there. I don't have any. I'll wait till after DRF to choose. I think people.
No, but one thing I will say, and I stumbled across it. That DRF race has some record for horses going on and doing very well in that Bartlett. That 2 mile 6 race. I know it probably sounds obvious, but like if you go through all the runners, I think they've finished nowhere out of places. Every winner has either come second or third in that Bartlett, so it's probably not a bad guide. It's probably something that I just didn't pick up on, but when I looked through the results, I was like saying to myself, all these ran really well in the Bartlett. So even though it's 2 mile 6, it wouldn't be a Turner's race.
No. Okay, we will belt on to the novice chasers because you've a good bit to get through still. And majority of the races over Christmas were, you're now kind of looking towards the RSA or the Brown Advisory more so than the 2 mile race. We only had Romeo Coolio really in the Arkle trial, but the main ones to talk on: Romeo Coolio, Lulamba, Cargeese was good, Kitzbühel is very good at Kempton. The Big Westerner, they're talking about taking on the boys. I think it's a terrible decision. Just go to the Mayor's Chase and leave her go from the front. Cocktail Divin was very good, and Final Demand, he's very good, but that was just an absolute puck race. It didn't try a yard on Jimmy the Side. I may as well have just stayed at home. Quick thoughts on the Arkle and then as well the RSA. For me, I think I'm still with Lulamba for the Arkle. And if I was the owner of Romeo Coolio, I would step him up to the Browns and leave him take on the lads in that and see can he travel away and outspeed him. I still think Final Demand did not like the hill last year. I'm positive of it. Very good horse, but I will take him on all day at 5-4, wherever it is. Andrew?
Yeah, I'd start with the Bartlett, the Browns. Like I'm the same with you. I say this year in year out, and I say about the English horses. I hate horses who come into Cheltenham on the back of doing nothing all season. What Final Demand has done in his 2 races, he just jogged around, jump. What's he going to do in the battle when he hits the hill? We seen last season. Does he fancy it? Does he not? We don't know. 5-4 is not a chance I want to be taken with, especially when we know he's beatable at Cheltenham. Look, he could absolutely destroy these fellas. But for me, like if Romeo Coolio turns up here, he's not going to be anywhere near 7-1. He's going to be a 5-2 shot, if that. But I'd be on the mind of. Look, he won the 2 mile race at Leopardstown, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was one of the fastest. I think he was faster than the what's it called, the grade 1, the one that Marine National was second in, whatever it's called. I think he was faster than that. Correct me now if I'm wrong, but I think I've seen that on the Racing Post. To me, Kitzbühel, he was, if anything, as impressive as anything we've seen over this distance at Kempton. He bossed that race from the front, tanked around the place. I had the race in the keeping by the time he turned in for the home straight. He's a big enough price. He's the only place you can see him going is the Browns. He's 10-1. He'd be one I wouldn't put anyone off. Same with you, Dave. The Big Westerner. Why are they thinking of going here? I don't know. Just run Cocktail Divin here, send her to the Mayor's, kick her out in front. People are whacking on about this. Oh, she's a 3 miler. She's a 3 miler. She didn't win a 3 mile hurdle race, did she? When she was
outstayed
so to me, like I would 100% go to the Mayor's Chase, buck her out in front. You saw how she jumped around Limerick. She will give them a jump lesson around around Cheltenham, and I would be very, very much in the favour of her. They have Cocktail Divin, who looked much improved at Leopardstown. He absolutely smashed what he was against. But yeah, like if Final Demand's obviously going to go here. If Kutzball turns up here and Romeo doesn't, I'd be very much on the side of Kutzball. I was very impressed with what he done. He's a year younger, so there's a lot more still to come out with this fella. Look, Paul's obviously going to ride Final Demand.
You see that comment?
Where am I? Which one? Yeah.
Western Fold.
Yeah, you can click them and it comes up.
Yeah, that's a good shout. He's still a novice. People probably think he's not, but he actually is. And his form there up and down Royal is quite strong with Envoy Allen and Affordale Fury.
Affordale Fury. Yeah.
And the Arkle, Andrew.
Arkle, same as you. I'm very much on the side of Lolamba. I think the way this race will be run, you've the likes of Cargeese, Copic the Boars, Irish Panther, they'll all want to get on with it. I think it'll very much set up for Lolamba. He'll stalk them off the pace, stays further. He very much, look, obviously the colours are the same as Shishkin, but he very much reminds me of a horse that just is going to get better with age and as further he goes. But I think this is going to be run at an absolute ridiculous pace, and I think it'll just fall into his lap. I wasn't on the side at all at the start of the season. He wasn't for me, but he's at the impressive meeting his last 2 run. So yeah, Lolamba very much for me in the Arkle.
Sean, quickly, the Arkle and the Browns.
Yeah, the Arkle, I think there's a lot still to unfold in this. Like, just on Romeo quickly, I think when it comes down to the crunch, they're looking for softer ground. If the weather's good, the softest ground's going to be on the first day in the Arkle. It's not going to be on the second day in the Browns. And if the weather's like really soft ground, they're going 2 miles over 3 miles. So I think it all just points to the Arkle. And Dave, we always speak about it. The RSA breaking horses. If you want a horse for the future, it's absolutely not a race you want to be going there. So I think for the sake of the matter, from my opinion, I think Romeo will end up, when it comes to the crunch time, they'll end up going down the Arkle route. And I don't know about him around Cheltenham. 1 mile and 7. It's 2 furlongs less than 2 mile 1 at Leopardstown. He's jumping. Jack did this say it might sharpen up a little bit. Obviously, it's the first time he went down a 2 mile at a Helter Skelter gallop. It'll probably sharpen up, but I'd want to see him at the DRF. I wouldn't want to see him going straight to Cheltenham. I think Lolamba, he's going to hit a flash spot, but he's going to come home. So he reminds me very much, you've touched on the Shishkins and them sort of horses. He gives absolutely everything when he comes off it. It's just, can he survive when he hits that flash spot? If he hits a fence, you're in trouble. And then you get on to the Willie pair. Cargeese, so I thought she was impressive around Leopardstown. She's going to put an angle on the race. If she's going to be honest, and you're going to have to go after her, you can't give her too much of a lead. And Kopek, the board, coming back. Sounds like he's all good. And the engine's still intact and he's on roof at the RF. So that's going to be interesting. I hope to see a clash and it doesn't end up just Kopek, the board, taking on nothing. So I hope a couple of them clash. Up to the RSA, I have Kitzbühel. Kitzbühel was good, but you think he's a flat track bully? I worry. I don't know what he's just going to do on Kempton, and you wait for next year and you may be back on for a King George. That's my little worry on him. Who else have we got in there? Cocktail Diving. I think the trick to him was coming back to middle distance trips. He went 3 miles. He travelled all over Oscar's brother and fell in a hole in the last furlong at Punchestown. Not the stiffest track in the world to finish off, and he got tired. I think when he turns in to face that hill, the fuel tank might drop empty and he won't quite get up it. So that's my worry on him. His stamina was Final Demand. You know what I think. I think he's very good. People crab Limerick. I think Limerick was probably a good piece of using the head from Patrick Mullins. Like, people saying, no, he wasn't impressive, he's out in front. He didn't do anything. He didn't have to do anything. He got him from A to B. He got him around. He could have gave him a grueler of a race at Limerick, deep ground. But you know what? He didn't. He just done what he had to do. He flicked around, flicked his ears, quickened up. There was a few oohs and ahs. I was out in Leopardstown. A few lads must have backed him at 1-4 in the Paddy Power as he swung off the hill because there was a couple of horses in contention. But he quickly put them bed. And like, Paddy Mullins asked him to completely gear it down going to the last. And he just went in and popped it for him and came back away. I don't think the setup of the race was ever going to make him impressive because he was out in front. But one thing I would say is people are sort of throwing a bit in a few things on him. I think people forget what he done at Punchestown last year. They learned the biggest lesson off him at Cheltenham. I know he came toward it. I know he looked poor. They held him up off the pace, but and then they end up, since then, they've changed the whole tack on him. They've ridden him aggressively. He basically ended the yellow clay. He hasn't lifted a gallop since Punchestown. Like, he's completely ended him. Lovely Horlin was back behind him. I think he's a good horse. just hasn't been tried to its full effect so far. And the rest, he's been ridden out in front. I think that's going to be the key, lads. He's out in front, kicking away, putting pressure on, jumping. I just think he's going to relish it around that place.
Punchestown is for drinking. It's not for...
Oh, absolutely. But like, I think people forget that the way he was ridden at Cheltenham, they then learned a lesson.
The yellow clay is Stonewall useless.
Well,
his form is intertwined with the yellow clay, and a horse that the Skeletons are absolutely Stonewall positive is a 2-miler. I personally don't think it's a 2-miler, but that's his form. And Limerick is grand, but Jimmy Desai did not try a fucking inch from the time the tapes went up. He had his face yanked off him to make sure he did not go in front like he had done in his novice chase. And his novice chase, every single thing behind him has come out and won. So his form was good. He didn't try. It was nothing to do with the ground. It was nothing to do, his jumping was poor. He wasn't allowed jump. It was there for finding the man to win his grade 1. That's grand. But his form is so intertwined with the yellow clay. You have to be worried about that, Sean. No matter how much
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I think the change of tactics to how they've ridden him since Cheltenham, like, you have to forget, like, he went to Cheltenham on the back of 2 runs, won a grade 1 in the second run. Like, they learned about him that day, and I think if he gave the ride back, Paul Townend would not be sitting in the middle of the pack down on the rail. He'd be far more positive on him, and ever since that, we've seen him just kick him out, and if the pace isn't quick enough, he goes on himself, and I think that's just what he does in Cheltenham. He's not going to let this turn into a sprint off the back of the second last. He's going to wind her up from a long way out and just keep her a good test.
But that didn't turn into a sprint.
He melted going up the hill last year.
He had every chance to go past them. He just didn't want to go past. He couldn't. Visually, he looked like he just... Look, one of us are going to be wrong. But to me, visually, he looked like he just didn't... The petrol wasn't there to go past the other two. He couldn't go with the pace with him, and then he couldn't find to go past him. It's not like he was closing all the way to the line. Looked like, this fella definitely needs to step up a trip. And he wasn't a million miles off him. He was right up their arse turning in. So it wasn't like they got lengths on him. They pulled away from him.
Mm.
So, like... And again, what Dave said, his form is intertwined with the yellow clay. And I was one of the biggest fans of the yellow clay. He's fucking useless this season.
Terrible.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, but I don't know if we're going to get it, is the DRF. If he doesn't face Romeo Coolio, you're going to be able to crab him all the way to Cheltenham because he's not going to take on anything. But I think if the Romeo Coolio does not line up in that 2 mile 5 to DRF and he goes 2 miles, I think that tells you everything you need to know about what they think of him.
Who, Romeo Coolio?
If he doesn't take him on at the DRF, well, then that tells you the owners know that I don't want to go anywhere.
No, it's nothing to do with it. See this nonsense now. They're not taking on Final Demand because they're scared. They're taking them on because they want to win the Arkle. If they're going 2 miles, they're going to the Arkle. If they're going 3 miles or 2.5, they're going to take on Final Demand. They're going to take them on again at Cheltenham. They're not scared.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But if they go down,
do you honestly think that the fellas that own what's they called? KD, whatever the hell their names are. Yeah, they're scared of Final Demand. You must be joking.
I'm not saying that.
They will say that. Yeah, we'll take him on, not a fucking bother.
I hope they do.
If they raced against each other at DRF and Final Demand bet Romeo Coolio by 10 lengths, I'd still take on Final Demand to Cheltenham because I'm positive he melted going up the hill last year. And that happens to some horses, they just don't like it.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I get it at the price. I get crabbing him. Like,
one horse that I think will run well in that race is Wendigo, a horse I didn't overly like, but I don't think Kempton suited him one bit, and he'll be one that will stay the trip and the hill and should be running on. But we'll kick on to the...
Will he get an entry in the...
I thought that, the National Hunt Chase, but no.
Fuck's sake.
They're looking at the Grand National.
Rounding each Cheltenham.
No, the champion hurdle horses. So we have the 4 main races to go through. Again, we've seen a lot of the races over Christmas, but we'll talk through the main protagonist. Sergino is back, won at Kempton. Lost him out, won at Leopardstown. Brighter Days Ahead was against Lost him out, ran well. Con Hill is going to Suddle and then apparently will run at Cheltenham. And if he jumps, the talent will surely still be there, but he
can't win.
He can't even fucking jump a Matchbox at the moment. Golden Ace will be there. Amsterdam, I just fucking hate this horse, and still can't believe people are back. Oh, if hands them,
Jump a matchbox.
I saw like he can't. I saw on Twitter. I saw on Twitter. Oh, if Amsterdam jumps like a champion hurler, I don't care if he fucking flies like a champion hurler. He's a fucking idiot.
It's nothing to do with his jumping. He's fucking thick as 2 planks.
Stupid horse, like, and you can jump great all you want, but like you have to be able to race properly.
He saw the gap open like the Red Sea, and he went, ha ha ha, let's go. Like,
they are the main protagonists. El Fabiolo is back. He won't win a champion hurdle, but nice to see him not fall for a change, and they finally not put him over fences because he can't jump.
He will not run at Cheltenham. He'll run that 2.5 mile at Aintree and he'll win that.
Yeah, he was beaten by John Bon
fabulous.
years ago, so he's a good shout. But to me, I think Sergino will win. What I saw, I like Sergino all along, but the fact that he pulled his way around Kempton the entire race, and then at the end of the day, Golden Ace won a champion hurdle. She won a fight in 5th, and he absolutely walloped her after pulling the entire race and basically saying to Nico, these are not going remotely fast enough for me. I want to go way faster than this. And I just think Glossie will turn up in the mares again. She'll win the mares. She's faster than Woodoo. And I think those 2 races are fairly easy to call. Sergino in champion hurdle, typical Nicky horse, and Lossie wins the mares. Andrew?
Yeah, Sergino will bolt up. I cannot see. I text you after he crossed the line. I just said there's nothing beating this thing at Cheltenham. Ultra impressive, as you said, pulled half the way around, had enough in the tank to absolutely kick the rest of them into oblivion. The new lion couldn't have him on the back for fall like that. Is he even a 2 miler? We don't know. Is he going to Trials Day next week?
Sergino?
Yeah, no, New Lion.
They're supposed to be facing each other.
Are they both from there?
Yeah. Until he gets a stone bruise.
You need to back Sergino now, lads, if the 2 of them turn up, because he'll be odds on when he crosses the line next week. Lossie will send her to the mares, keep him away from that. Brighter is ahead. She'll run at the DRF against Lossie Mayo. She has no hope of hell around Cheltenham. Constitution Hill, as they say, couldn't jump a matchbox, and if he could, he's still not going to win. Yeah, to me, this is one of the most straightforward races of the year. Sergino, for me, I know he's only rated 163. He's what he have £7 to find on Constitution Hill. He'll put Constitution Hill, drop him at the last. Constitution Hill still try jumping and fall, and he's still battering by 20 lengths. I am really impressed by Sergino. I think he'll absolutely bolt up in the champion hurdle.
The comments are fucking on.
He got an entry. He got an entry, didn't he?
We'll talk about him in a minute. Sean
doesn't want to.
Oh no, face the music. Champion hurdle, Sergino, that thing's an aeroplane, and I can't tell you how many times I've backed Lossie out for the mares off the back of this. A ridiculous amount of times, and I'm gonna keep doing it because there's not a chance in hell they're taking him on. Not a hope in hell. He is a fucking aeroplane. Went around the place, first run after a year, jumped around. He got into the bottom of 1. That's the only thing you can fault him for. He's still on the bridle. He probably takes a blow. You don't even know because he's about 10 clear. Nico de Boinville's just hands and heels the whole way down the straight. The champion hurdler is about 10 lengths behind, and he hasn't even lifted the whip. It was crazy how he travelled. I couldn't believe it, to be honest with you. How he was ridden, it was just like, you're not beating me, and we're laying down a flag here and now, and that's the end of it. If something can bring him along in the champion hurdle, great. But if not, I think he's bomb-proof. I really, really do. Like, he's going to come up against a new lion. I'm full sure he has to give him weight at the Trials Day. If he beats him, and that's game over. There's nothing taking him on. Like, he genuinely could go off a 1-2 shot, as Andrew was saying. If he beats him at the Trials Day, he's going to get extremely short. And I just checked the double there. The double's 11-2 if you want to back it between the champion hurdle and the mares hurdle. Just on Lossie, I'll just touch on that race. For me, I think it proved everything that 2 miles, it's not she's not good. She couldn't get away from them. And although as well as she travelled and as quick as he asked her and everything she gave, she just could not pull away. I would not be shocked if Brighter Days Ahead. What's it?
She's a stayer. She's better.
She's a stayer. No, that's it.
I think Brighter Days Ahead will beat her DRF.
Yeah, I was just about to touch on that. I will not raise an eyebrow if that form is turned at the DRF, because I think Brighter Days Ahead probably comes out of the race with more credit than Lossiemouth because of how well she'd run first time out, all the issues that she's had, and I think in the DRF the race setup will be completely different. She will not be tailing Lossiemouth. Lossiemouth will have to tail her, and the fact she came back after the last to get so close. But what worried me as well is Amsterdam took off halfway down the back straight. He wasn't beating all that far, lads. I know I'm not saying he's in the mix, but what I'm saying is they should have came a lot further clear to him than they did, in my opinion, if they were proper champion hurdlers. So as I said, I think that race proved everything that Lossie's going to go to Mares, and I would not be shocked if that form was turned come the Dublin Racing Festival. And I think that's it pretty much, isn't it? That's everything. That's all the horses.
Yeah, look, I've been Lossie's biggest fan since her first race in France. When I seen her, I fell in love with her. But 2 mile 4 is her best trip. I think she'd probably go and win the stairs if they entered in the stairs.
Yeah,
she's better than those horses as well. But the race against Con Hill last year, whether if it was the real her or not, she couldn't keep up at a fast 2 mile track. And then the other day, as Sean said, she just doesn't have the kick, the speed kick away at the end.
Just to get away from them.
No electric change of gear.
She's just there. Champion Chase. So we had
Dave, do you know what I was thinking? Do you remember on the Triumph when she came down that hill? Holy mother of God, she's gonna be pulling a cart coming down that hill. The long straight. Yeah.
Champion Chase. Marine was back, ran very well for a horse that kind of, I don't know what kind of a mistake it was, but he didn't nearly fall. The jockey just nearly fell off him for some reason. In at the top, the little grey lad, supposed to be running the weekend in the Clarence house. You have John Bond, you have Big Maj. People need to stop at Majborough. Your race is wrong. He still can't jump. They're the main ones. There's probably some left field ones. I think after Christmas and before Christmas, and still, I don't really like the horse. I don't really like the trainer. But Marine National is going to win the Champion Chase again. I think he's the most likely winner. Andrew.
Yeah, that performance he put up at Leopardstown was extremely good. I just something about Barry Connell I can't take to. I love Marine National when he was winning his bumpers around Killarney and shit like that. I was like, oh, this thing is an absolute weapon. For some reason, I took a turn against him. I don't know what it was and why it was. You'd be hard pushed to see him out of the top two. He'd definitely be in the top two. You have the question marks about Elite Tom. I love this little grey rat. Oh, he's an absolute superstar. But then again, you have the questions: does he act around Cheltenham? Is he just a different horse now? Is he like we remember? We were at DRF when he made his debut in a 4-year-old hurdle in a Grade 1, and he pulled for 2 miles, 2.5 miles. He pulled for half a mile to get down to the start, and he was still bang there jumping the last. He's after settling a lot more. He's very much more tractable. He's much improved. 11-4, do you want to be taking that chance now? I've took a chance at bigger prices. I wasn't happy enough to leave him one. If you're back in Marlborough around Cheltenham, go into the doctors in the morning and tell them you have a big Maj problem, because go back and watch what he done in the article. If you have any notion about horse racing, go back and watch the last 2 fences. Don't even watch the rest of it. Go back and watch the last 2 fences in the article. He nearly kicked the 2 of them into oblivion, and you still want to back him. And then go watch his 2 runs again this season. He can't jump. The horse can't sort his feet out. Some horses are just thick who don't know what to do with themselves. If he was mine, he'd be like, yeah, you're not going back over a fence. They're going to do the same thing they did to El Fabiolo. They're going to run 2 seasons too many over fences, and they're going to put back over hurdles then. And the talent to be after simmering down a bit then, and you're after wasting an extremely talented horse. Get him back over hurdles. He can kick them out of the way. Not a problem. They don't even bring horses down anymore because they're made out of plastic and they just smack off the ground. Oh, I don't know what they're doing with him. I wouldn't even go near a Champion Chase with him. They could, much I hate to say it, the pace they go in that could absolutely kill him. His brain doesn't operate fast enough to sort his feet out. And this Racing IQ saying he's a fucking fantastic. Racing IQ is the biggest load of bollocks I've ever seen. Now, I was in the truck for Iris on Monday, and they backed up that this Racing IQ is the biggest load of bollocks ever.
It's not fit for purpose. It's stupid.
No, It's not fit for purpose at all. Marine National process elimination will probably win. If Elite Tomp can show that Cheltenham is not an issue, he'll run a massive race. Just one at not a mad price, 20-1. Tisselask, he's going very much under the radar. He's improved hand over fist throughout the season since he came to Dan Skelton. He was mighty impressive again at Kempton over Christmas, and I would not be surprised if he can run into a place at 20-1. He won't be that on the day because that cut up like shit. But he's one that he's on an upward trajectory very quickly, and he could play a massive role.
Sean, who's going to win the champion chase?
Yeah, quickly, Dave. I couldn't agree anymore with you. I was never a fan of the horse, but if good ground is in the going or anything good to soft, just not heavy, Marine National wins champion chase for me. I actually hope he gets turned over to the Dublin Races Festival because we get an even bigger price, which would be fantastic. Like Solness runs his heart out around Cheltenham, around Leopardstown. I'll give it to him. He could even pip him again at the Dublin Racing Festival. He just doesn't travel across the waters. Jesus, Ilate Tom. It's just that, like, you can't argue the case that he has performed at Cheltenham against anyone because they just point the fingers and it's blatantly obvious he hasn't won around the place and he's made mistakes. I don't know what it is. Is he just a way better horse this time around? I'm not sure. I still think a top-notch Marine National and good to soft ground is better than him. John Bond, we don't need to talk about him in the festival. And Big Marsh, Tom tried to convince us he jumped well. He ran down about 4 fences. He hit about 3 of them. And you just can't do that in 2 mile chasing. And he's done it on every single 2 mile start. So nothing's going to change. And he runs down fences. They go around the outside of Leopardstown. He ends up 20 yards on the inside. And it's just not going to happen. So give up that dream, lads. Unfortunately, Big Marsh ain't winning a champion chase.
In a perfect world, Big Marsh would be running in the Ryanair. But he has John Bond and he tried to pigeonhole Maj.
He also, imagine him jumping with Fact the Foil. Holy mother of God. But
he'd be better at that trip because he can. They just be.
I think he's just an idiot. I think he'd steer it over any trip.
He just can't.
Yes, Wally.
I still think he'd run down his fences. He's just.
But you can get away with that trip with the engine he has. He's more likely to get away with it. But Dave, what are you doing for Cheltenham? Probably backing losers, to be quite honest.
We're drinking loads of pints and having fun.
I'll be trying to get some work off. It's busy at the moment. Speaking of Marine National, I was thinking about Quilixios. I see a video of him swimming in the beach down in Boat Strand there. It's very good. But that came to my head. We are doing our normal Cheltenham preview online. But there's an in-person one in Waterford being run out in the Lexus garage. And we said we'd throw it up here. Good panel. Henry de Bromhead, Paul Nolan, Sean O'Keefe, Darrow O'Keefe, and Don McLean. And the proceeds are all going to the Jack de Bromhead Equine Centre, which is very, very good. So anybody, we should have more info on this next week, a better poster. Tickets €20, 26th of February, 7:30. Out in Lexus, Waterford, nice spot. And anybody who's around Waterford wants to go to a preview evening, that's the one to go to.
Unless we decide to not be lazy and put one on.
Me and Andrew will be out at that. We'll go out and have a listen to the lads. And Dara's actually a funny character, so he's good to listen to. Right, we are on to the stairs, and then we have the Gold Cup horses. 2 seconds now.
Ryanair.
Oh, the Ryanair as well, sorry. Ryanair and Gold Cup, we'll kind of do it together.
Okay.
Stairs.
It's only one horse.
Hupo walloped Ballymore. We tried to warn Wally, but he just has a hard on for the lawnmower, man.
I don't know if you quit out and Leopardstown that day.
Over now. Bob Ollinger is there. He ran a nice trial. He'll be better at Cheltenham. It's his track. Honesty Policy, Before Christmas, and Impose Trois. They are the main contenders. There might be a few on the outside looking in. If I was to back one today, I hate back. You know what? No, I wouldn't. I'm back.
Please say it. Please say it. Please say it.
No, because every time I back him, he fucking loses. And
come on. He's a different horse now. He likes you now. Just say nice things about him. We'll bring you out to Henry's and give him a little pat and you can talk things out.
If I was to back one right now at the prices, it would be Bob because it was obvious the thing was a troll.
Oh, where's Tom Reid? How old Pat ring Tom? Hold up now, I need to ring Tom.
Fucking
he's on call. He can't. Fuck.
I don't like that horse. Yeah, but Bob is the one at the moment because I'll never forgive T Hoopo for being beaten by him last year. You know, what difference does it make this year? So I hope I have jinxed him, but I fear I have not. Andrew.
When he jumped the last at Leopardstown, myself and Tom just looked at each other and said, he's going to win at Cheltenham again, isn't he? He's going to win at Cheltenham again. It's his track. He's unbeaten at Cheltenham. Never in a million years did I think he'd win a Stayers Hurdle, but he did. And I was delighted. And he's 9-10 to 1. I think it's a great bet. Loves the place. Hopefully it'll be good ground. He'll just travel there on the Sally Snaff, or as Sean says, on the Dicky, pick it up after the last and sprint away with his head cocked up in the air, looking at the grandstand saying, well, lads, what's the crack? Bob Ollinger wins. I don't care.
Sean.
My opinion, T Hoopo, they've wrapped him up in cotton wool and all of a sudden he's running frequently and he's looking better. I'd say them lads might be kicking themselves to get him to one run a year for a couple.
And apparently he don't need fucking heavy ground anymore.
Yeah. That's as quick as I got out there at Christmas. That was like a road and he had no problem on it. What one is it going to touch on? Bob. Sorry. I think Bob has a smashing chance if they go no gallop again. No, just if they go no gallop again. Your worry would be Rocky's Diamond or someone stupid like that going out a million miles an hour and making it a test, because that's when it comes back into the Hoopo's court, in my opinion. But if they go no pace.
There's no real horses like that. Like years ago, Liz Nagar, Oscar, and all them lads went mad for 3 miles. Floor and Porter. There's none of them are running like that anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and that's what you look and you say, oh, I don't know. And if it was to get like that, me and Dave touched on it before Christmas. I think Honesty Policy ran a cracking race at Ascot. For his first run out in open company, he had the ability to win over 2 miles, 2.5 miles last year. He has the speed, and he ran exactly like he took a blow and he came back at them. And that's what I like most at Ascot. He went, put his head down after the last. He got down and dirty and he got back at them. I know he still came toward, but he showed the guts. And what I like to see is that. And the Hoopo is going to be backed. He's going to be number one string. You don't need to back Honesty Policy at this stage. He's probably going to drift on the day. He could go out to 6-7 to 1 on the day because he's second string. But I just think if it's an up and coming horse, we were all looking to take Yasmin DeVoe this year, and people were saying he was a good thing. This lad was only a nose bob off him last year at Punchestown. I know it's Punchestown in the season, but the amount of progression he made last season to win that grade entry grade 1 over 2.5 miles, it was very quick progression, and I don't think he's done yet. And if it was to get tactical, I think he has a speed to quicken up and he stays all day. So that's probably the way I'd be looking at the moment. I got burned with the Hoopo last year and I'm just not willing to do it again, to be honest with you. He just finds ways to lose the race. He probably will win it this year, but I'd be happy just to sit and take a bigger price on Honesty Policy on the day.
Okay, last one, and when we're done, we might touch on the Clarence House quick, but I don't really have anything for it. But I know the lads, Andrew likes Elite Thomp and he's running. So, but the Gold Cup and Ryanair horses, we had them all basically run over Christmas in some description or another. Bar maybe Grey Dawning, he might be one for some people. Not much for me, but Gallivant Deschamps, a good comeback. I know the way you're thinking. Clown, absolute clown horse. Never liked him. Still don't like him, won't ever like him, and may he continue to be 6th. Aphrodite Fury, good shout. Tom backed him, I backed him. I think he might have had his day in the sun, but it was a good win. Haughty Calor back to form. I love when it does that. Haughty Calor back to form. Andrew's horse. No, like a little fucking thumbs up or something.
Get the blue ones.
I don't know how do we do it? Woohoo!
I can't believe me do
it. The Jukebox Man in there with Django Bay and Gaelic Warrior and Fact of Foil, and who's the other one? There's 4 of them going over the line.
Oh, Django Bay, Jukebox Man, Bambridge, and Gaelic Warrior.
Fucking Bambridge. Factifoil is only one day, and he's the nap at Cheltenham now. He is it. That's about them all. Anything could win the Gold Cup. There's only one winner of the Ryanair. My current thoughts are Factifoil is the nap of Cheltenham. He will win the Ryanair. Do a second, like Allaho. Gold Cup. I still like Gary. I think they didn't make enough use of him at Kempton. Just speeding down the hill. And I'd take 2 from Kempton. I love galloping, but I just don't see him regaining it. I'll have a go at 2 horses that are going to run in it for the first time. One of them's Gary. I think he likes that stamina test. And it fucking pains me that Noodle Arms is on him. But Django Bay, to me, was the slowest and the best stayer at Kempton. And if he had a better jockey, he would have got him up. And I can't understand as well why he rode him out in the middle of the fucking track. And he didn't use his jumping. And I got into a sprint. But Django Bay, you have to accept that Noodle Arms is going to be on him. And Gary for me. And Factifoil for the Ryanair. Andrew.
Do you know what your big problem with Gary is? Paddy Mullen's going to be on the back.
No. Why is Danny not on the horses?
I don't know. I think Danny just does his own thing. Willie will say one thing and he'll go, yeah, no bother, Willie. Hold him up, yeah, no bother. 6 minutes clear after the first.
He's like the black sheep, isn't he?
He's like the bold child, isn't he? He's just like the middle child syndrome.
He gets one every now and again, like that Kappa J Pike, and sticks it to him. I can fucking do this.
And he does it with bloody.
On the Danny Racing Festival, he usually just goes haywire and wins 3 grade 1s on the first day.
He done it with Lete Tomp, and now he's a superstar that they're taking them off him. Nah, you're not getting him anymore. Yeah. Poor Danny. I like Danny. Danny's cool. Galloping the Champ is going to win, David. As long as there's a decent bit of juice in the ground. Look, to me, I still think he's by miles the best horse in the race. I know the way you're thinking. How there's not been inquiries to how this horse has been run, has been whatever, the way they want, the IHRB want to word it.
We have something on that, lads, but I'll get to it in a minute.
No, I'm stopping right now. Say it. Go on.
I don't know if Gavin's stable form is absolutely killing horses, like breaking them, because some of them just are whatever's going on, and they've just kept running. Some of them are going 20 steps backwards. That Bud Fox stable form was out, ran second in Cheltenham. You needed a crane to pick him up at the straight at the bottom of Leopardstown. He stopped to a standstill. I know the way you're thinking. Same again. Has not lifted a gallop. And whoever's telling you they're not trying, it's bollocks. That horse is completely didn't even go down to the first. Was getting nudged along going past the stands on the first lap. He was in big trouble. Unconvinced they're really wrong. And not that they're planting this horse or anything like that. I think on top of a Gold Cup that takes a lot out of horses, you're in big trouble with him, I think.
Yeah, look, I think it's just very much too similar to what they did last season with him. They had no interest in winning any races with him last season. Absolutely none. He just turned it on. Look, fair enough. He won the Kim. Was it the Kim Muir? He absolutely bolted up in the year before.
Yeah, but there was a bit of progression last year. It was significant regression from the John Duggan to.
Look, and I can't remember who we had a conversation with. I don't know who I had a conversation with. Was it Dave or Tom or somebody? Or we might have talked about it on this. Was like everybody's expecting Gold Cup winners to come back year after year after Galpin doing it, after Album Photo. Look, he done it as well. But his best mate is very rarely you get back-to-back winners of Gold Cups because they
7 since 1932.
Yeah, there you go. Here's the stats right there. Dave will love that stat. Little ping in his pants there after that. Like it kills horse. Like who was it? Coney Gree.
Pluthard.
Pluthard was never the same, and El Indo was never the same. You've Don Cossack. You can go back heaps. Time after time after time. Heaps.
Bob's worth all of them.
Synchronized. Well, God bless him. He died actually. St. John. He won the Irish Gold Cup, Cheltenham Gold Cup, and the Punchestown Gold Cup, and he was never seen again. It breaks horses. Whether that's what happened to him or not.
It basically gave Denman heart failure as well. He's never right on.
Yeah, Dave liked him so much he decided to copy him.
Yeah. He ran second in it, but he was never the same horse after the Gold Cup.
No. Like the worst thing that happened now, that can happen, and will drive people demented, and Dave O'Keefe will be the first one to be fuck a Guinness glass. I'll tell you something. If I know the way you're thinking, does nothing now at the DRF and goes off and wins a Gold Cup again. That'll drive people demented.
I'd smash the place up.
Because go on.
You can't remotely tell me how he's still at 7-1 without someone having a set of cojones just to say I'm taking him on. I just can't for the life of me figure out how you can justify that.
He's 7-1 because of the Cheltenham form. That's why he's 7-1. Because of the Cheltenham form, he's the defending champion. If he was second to Galopin last year, nobody be talking about him because he'd be out the back of the telly. It's the fact that Gold Cup horse are meant to be the people's horse. Everyone is meant to latch on to Gold Cup horse. And I swear you'll find, I'd be shocked if you found 10 people at the DRF next week who actually like that horse. Whether it's the way he's been trained or whatnot, he's just a horse that's could become very unlikable. Back to the actual discussion at hand. Django Bay, I had a chat with you over text Dave about him, and I just said to Dave, I don't think he stayed. And I went back and watched him. I was like, well, maybe he has a point because he wasn't losing much ground at all going around there, and Kempton is much of a speedy or 3-mile track. I just can't take to the jukebox, man. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is. Couldn't tell you whatsoever. Like Harry Redknapp, think he's class. Ben Paulin, nothing against him. Ben Jones, I think he's a top class jockey and on the way up. No reason to not like him. I just don't know why I don't. Great on. I put him back him in a month of Sundays. Hottie Clore, he's going to be my cliff horse till the cows come home, and I'll have something on if he turns up here. People saying he couldn't go grade 1 pace. Fuck off. Wasn't right at all at Haydock. The second the taste went up, he didn't want to go a yard. There was something up with him.
Winning the Welsh National after weight he carried was a grade 1 performance, so he's definitely a grade 1 horse.
He carried more weight than Nathan River carried when he won it.
Did he?
It's impressive.
As far as I know, it could be totally wrong now. It could be totally shy. I think I heard it on at the races, so it could be absolutely bullshit if I heard it on that. But that was a proper grade 1 performance. What he done?
Yeah, Matt Chapman doesn't check his facts.
No, it's too big. Now we were talking. I've seen a comment earlier on that the big Westerner won't beat Spindleberry. There's a lot of talk, and the owners want to run her in this. So do not be shocked if she turns up in this. And I know Willie said, "Oh, you should run here, blah blah blah. She's going to run the mares." But as we said last time,
you might see her Thursday week. She might be running in Testies.
Oh, lovely. There was a quote on Twitter from the owners like, "We dream about winning Gold Cups, not mare chases." So they might never get a horse like this again. And she belted 3 or 4 fences at Doncaster, and she still won on the dicky. So there's a lot of handles.
Talking about going to the Esties, and if she wins the Esties, they're going to the Gold Cup.
Run in the Esties?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
What price is she? 16 to 1 top weight. Thank you very much.
She likes that. Well, you know.
No, I didn't even know Tasties race Mizzou. Better times ahead is favourite. Not bad. Anyway, yeah, that's me done with the Gold Cup. Gambling Champ wins with their soft in the description.
And Ryanair, who wins? Quickly.
Fact the file, as you said, going to do an Alaho 2 back to back. Boom. Good luck.
Yep. Sean.
Yeah, I'll be very quick on this.
3 minutes.
Yeah, I back Galloping the Champ for the Gold Cup off the back of the run at Leopardstown. I thought all the signs were there. He just needed first run of the season. He didn't even take on the gallop. He took a pull, sat in behind. He didn't want to end the lever all there. After Del Fury, good winner on the day, but I see that form being reversed at Cheltenham. I know people were saying that, at Cheltenham at the DRF. I know people were saying, oh, he was unbeaten around Leopardstown and now that's gone. It's still his first run of the season, and he used to be at Punchestown to John Durkin. He just took the run. He didn't hate Punchestown, as he showed you last summer when he won by half the track. I just think there was a lot of there. He was right there until the last, got toward. Very, very understanding. The ways the Willies have been running as well, they're all coming on to run. So I suspect there's going to be mountains of improvement, and he didn't raise a gallop around Cheltenham last year and was still only in second. So at worst, I can only see him being in the places. So I backed him. Another way of thinking, my thoughts on him. I thought he's gone back. He walked across the line at Leopardstown. It was horrific. I don't see the improvement. I don't see the exact same plan as last year. I think he's taken 10 steps back rather than last year. At least he was in the mix, maybe moving up a position or two. Not too many, but he's gone all the way back down now. The King George, great race. I think Gaelic Warrior, different conditions, ridden a little bit differently, probably would have won. But nothing to take away from the winners. But I think going towards the Gold Cup, I'd say he has the best chance out of them all. Of competing in the Gold Cup. I think Gaelic Warrior. I think they keep him fresh and send him there. I hope they don't go to Leopardstown because he just hates the place. And I seen him talk today. Up to 3 miles. Well, he pulled it. He literally stopped himself in a 2 mile 5 race against Factor Foil. So that won't make a difference. He just hates the place. And back to Factor Foil and the Ryanair. It baffles me. You ride him out, you sit him just behind Gaelic Warrior, runs a great race in the Dorkin. You hold him up last, somehow have him down the rail, gets chopped up before long into the race, jumping onto the back of horses, just put a line through it. He's not regressing. It was just madness what they done. I don't know why they held him up. I don't know how you get chopped up and nearly come down in the first furlong. But look, we'll put a line through it. I won't blow me gasket. And he'll come back and prove everyone wrong. He'll sit up in the dicky, all right, on the van. He'll jump and he'll take her up far out and say, that's the end of you, folks. I think Ryanair all over it. You look at the Ryanair, I think it's piss poor. You basically get down to Hartwood when you eliminate all the Gold Cup horses, and he beaten by about half of the straight last year. So I don't see that changing.
Yeah, I only beat Hartwood by about 100 lengths last year.
Yeah, and like when you go down to the Ryanair market, honest to God, they're all running in the Gold Cup. Like Django Bay, Gaelic Warrior, Majbra's not there, John Baum, Banbridge. Like you eliminate half of them. He's gonna be like 7, he's probably 5 to 4 or something like that.
I backed one horse for the Gold Cup. I backed very minimal anti-post bets. One horse for the Gold Cup. Can you guess who it is?
Hold on, wait.
Some mad fruit cook.
Don't tell me.
I actually have the market in front of me. Oh yeah, Maximus.
No.
Don't tell me. You're at the back in Lecky Watson.
No.
Oh, I know who you're at the back in. You're at the back in Roy.
Roy Allen, boy.
Oh, me pink. Bob Oliver and Roy Allen in the one show. Mother of somebody go down and check on Dave quick.
Roy Allen, only because he's definitely running there. Last race ever for Envoy, and he just runs Cheltenham so well. What can you do?
Did you back him to win?
Yeah, I'll win. Yeah,
66
to 80 to 1. He's 80 to 1 on the machine. If you want a bit of 80 to 1,
I might have another fiver on that. That'll do me then. That'll do me.
Dave was on the way out. Bob Oliver do the double.
I will. I will.
And you'll be naked on Friday.
You know what? I'll get the double done the weekend on Paddy Power or something, and I'll put it up on Twitter to show that I did it.
Sorry, I just want to shout out to one horse there just before we finish. He was a serious eye catcher. He hasn't tried a yard in 2 starts. Shuffled the deck for Ted Walsh. He did not, honest to God. I know Cocktail dive and pulled away, but lads, they wanted absolutely not. They wanted nothing to do with him. Like he was right there at the second last, and he just went 15 lengths clear in the click of a finger.
That's me a double, and I knew from the fucking as soon as the taste went up, they weren't trying on it.
But so shuffle the deck. Keep your eyes on him. Yeah, like you go back to his beginner's chase, and he was literally behind Kitzbühel, the Enable, and K. Dye. Yeah. The form is shit hot. I don't know where he's going to go, but he's going to be plotted at one of them festival handicaps. It could be all the way from a Jack Richards all the way up to a Kim Muir. God knows what it's going to be. But when we get the plans.
Also, the juvenile hurdle that was ran yesterday, I think people were expecting to see a triumph winner. Don't think we saw a triumph winner, but we might have seen a Boodles winner. 2 of them, Munsef, Charles Burns' horse. We might try on that at some stage.
What a ride. Fantastic ride.
And in my teens, if they scam in my teens anymore, he's going to fucking fall out of the telly.
I said this to you on the preview. The best was Fairly House when he comes down at the first. I'm not even messing. I don't know how they've managed to get this to happen, but it's just perfect.
I think we said it before. I think we said it after his first one. This thing is being absolutely, literally stuck to the ground. He fell on the ground for the Boodles. Jesus Christ. I think it's too obvious to be true. It's like, what's the young man saying that won it? Lark in the morning. It's Lark in the morning 2.0.
So obvious. On that note, we leave it there. Please do, as you always do, like and subscribe. Throw the comments underneath. We didn't get time to talk about the Clarence house, but look, we're in Cheltenham mode now.
Yeah, Nico's not even going to ride Jambon. It tells you everything you need to know.
That's because he got kicked off.
Business. We'll touch on stuff next week. This some of the novices are running this weekend as well, so we stuff.
Trials Day next week, isn't it? I think.
Yeah,
Trials Day next week, so we'll have a preview for Trials Day.
It won't be Thursday. Wait, it might be Thursday. I'll be back in time. I'll be back in time. I'm going to yesterday, so back in time.
And then the following week we have DRF, so we'll have a preview for that as we always do. Thank you very much for watching. Good crew watching live again. Thank you for the comments, some funny ones, some constructive ones, and some good ones saying go on envoy and the likes. Back Potter, but there's one back Potter's charm tomorrow, and thank me next time. Okay, we might do that. Have a good weekend. If you're betting, gamble responsibly, and if you're drinking, drink responsibly.